welcome back to my channel. Happy Tuesday to you. It is Tasty Tuesday, and today we are going to make some chili. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you how I make mine. All right, I'm already browning up my pound of ground beef. I got about 1.5 pounds in here, so that's browning up. I'm going to add to that, I've already pre-chopped my vegetables last night so they're ready to go. So I have 1 cup of chopped celery, and then I have 1 cup of chopped onion, and then I don't like green peppers, so I always put red, orange, and yellow peppers, and it calls for just 1, but I have about half of each of those. I have 1.5 peppers. So I'm going to add to the hamburg the onions, the peppers, and the celery. Got that there. And then all of the onion. And now my celery. Mix that all together, and I'm going to let that cook for a couple of minutes until the vegetables are kind of tender in there. So I'm going to get these all stirred in. I'm going to let that cook for a few minutes, and then I'm going to add to that 2 cloves of garlic that I will mince up. So that'll go in. We're going to cook that for about a minute, and then I'm going to add in all my seasoning. Now with my seasoning, we need let's see, I'm looking at my recipe, and I always do it a little bit different because the lady that I got this recipe from likes hers more spicy than mine. So I got about 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and then about 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper that I'm going to mix in there with that. And then the cumin, I have 2 tablespoons of cumin, and the chili powder, I have about 1.5 tablespoons in there. I may add more to it once I do some taste testing of it. And then we're going to add oregano sugar in there. So the oregano, I have 1 teaspoon, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar that we'll add in. And then once I let that cook just for a little bit, then I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce, a beef base, and then some water. So I have my Better Than Bouillon beef base. I'm going to put about 1 tablespoon in. The Worcestershire sauce is 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, and then about 1.5 cups of water. And then I will be adding diced tomatoes to that. And let's see, the recipe calls for 3 cans of the 15-ounce diced tomatoes, and I always get the one that's chili ready, so I have 3 of those. Gonna let that simmer for about 1.5 hours, and then I will add my kidney beans and then my chili beans. These are each 15.5-ounce cans, and then I will cook it for another 30 minutes, and then it will be ready. So let me stir up the veggies here and see how it's going. Alright, I'm going to add in the garlic now. My little handy dandy garlic press. And then the second one. that a good stir. Let that cook down for a minute. My tomatoes ready to go. Now, when I was planning out the menu for this week, it was supposed to be cooler this week. We're kind of up into high 70s, maybe the low 80s right now, but this morning it was 50 degrees here in Michigan, so still perfect fall weather in my eyes. And I'm making up cornbread to go with this tonight. That's good. Okay, so now we're going to add in all the seasonings. So I've got my salt and pepper and the cayenne pepper in there, the cumin, my chili powder, the oregano, and the sugar. I'm going to mix that all together. Alright, so now I'm going to add in the tomatoes. So I got my 3 cans. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now I'm going to add in that beef base. Got a good stir in there. And then the Worcestershire sauce and a cup and a half of water. Going to get this all mixed in and make sure that beef base has dissolved, which I don't see any more chunks of it. Okay, I'm going to let that simmer for about an hour and a half. And then I'm going to come back and add in the beans. So I'll make sure I have it on low. So I'll be back in about an hour and a half. Okay, it's been simmering for an hour and a half. I am now going to add the kidney beans and the chili beans. So I've got the chili beans here. Make sure I get everything out of it. Spatula. And then the kidney beans. I'm using light red kidney beans. And now that's going to simmer for another 30 minutes. And then I will be back once I get a bowl ready and then have my cornbread with it. So I'll be back in about a half hour. All right, there is my finished bowl of chili. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. I will have a link down below with the recipe. You guys can check that out. And until next time, remember to live a little, laugh a lot, and love always. Bye, guys.